Like a wallet chain for your brain, this is the Normal Isn't Necessary podcast, brought to you in part by the Gumball Head Sobriety Society.
Yeah, yes it is. Happy Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. It's the 11th of February, 2025. Good morning. Welcome to another podcast, another road rant. Yesterday, we dropped a podcast of an interview that we did Saturday with our good friend, L.A. Rogers. She's a special effects makeup artist out of Georgia. She's an aspiring professional makeup artist, and watching her quality improve throughout the years that we have known her. She's gone from just doing makeup tutorials to full-on prosthetics, etc., etc., etc. In addition to that, we've made even closer friends with our friends over there at the Modern Viking Beard Care Company, and growing relationships as we go. Someone actually said to us the other day, "You're riding on the coattails of professionals." No, we're not. We're promoting them. We're not riding on the coattails of anyone. There aren't any coattails because coattails aren't a thing anymore. This is not the 40s, 50s. So guys, welcome in. My road rant today is Super Bowl bound. I am excited to talk about this. I didn't talk about anything yesterday because we had dropped that podcast with LA. But I want to talk about the Super Bowl halftime show, and I want to dig up the dirt, and I want to talk about it. I want to express my opinions. I want people to roast me, and I want people to listen to what I have to say, because I have a microphone and you don't. All you've got is a chat. That's all right, though, because this is going to bring mindfulness into everything and help everybody to understand the way that our brain operates a little bit better. So let's talk halftime show. Kendrick Lamar came on saying they sang Like Us and dedicated his performance to Drake. I am not a big fan of the hip-hop scene anymore. I am not a fan of the music. I am not a fan of the message. I am not a fan of the politics that are involved. I understand it. I respect it 100%. Don't get me wrong. But these beefs, now they're taking them to the Super Bowl, and it's kind of pathetic in my opinion. So let me get this out of the way first and foremost. I understand that February is Black History Month. I understand that the cultural divide is still there. It always has been for a majority of my life. It's always been a black and white thing. We don't do black and white here. We do full spectrum. And I want everybody to understand that I side with the majority of the people when it comes to cultural balance and expressing, the roots of our nation and how, slavery has been abolished, but it's not, because everybody's still a slave to society. Everybody's still a slave to the government. Until we break away, there's not going to be any change at all. So that being the case, it's not a black or white thing for me. What it is the fact that the music on the halftime show at the Super Bowl has become worse and worse and worse in so many ways over the years. And to utilize the Super Bowl as a political platform for a music industry beef annoys me. Now, let me get this out of the way. First things first. Yes, it was an art installation. Yes, it was a cultural message. No, I don't think the Super Bowl was the right place for it. Let me explain why. The division of the flag by starting off the performance with the red, white, and blue, and then the rip down the middle, great. TikTok says that there were a lot of things involved in the setup on this halftime show. Kendrick Lamar singing the song about Drake, exposing the truth, which I don't know any truth that was exposed, but then again, I don't live that life. I don't live in that culture. I don't live in that society, so, forgive me. The majority of the people watch the halftime show because it's supposed to be entertainment. The song was a terrible pick. Them to speak game over. Terrible pick. PlayStation conspiracy with the PlayStation controller. The X in the middle of the stage talking about XXX extension. Talking about, Serena Williams and her Crip Walk. Great. I am very happy with all of the things that were involved. all the cultural information installed there, them talking about Drake being a pedophile and talking about they ain't like us, they ain't like us, okay. Maybe I missed some of the stuff. Maybe I missed some of the ghost there. Maybe I missed some of the cultural expressions and shit. But my opinion of it was, the music sucked. The music was absolutely terrible, in my opinion. If you liked the halftime show, good on you. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. If you liked the message that it delivered, great. Fucking 5 stars for you. High five. I made a statement on Facebook that said, in all my 40 years of watching the Super Bowl, this was the worst one yet. Now, mind you, I've been around for Prince. I've been around for Beyonce. I've been around for Madonna. I've been around for Janet and Justin. I've been around for a lot of Super Bowls. This one I did not like. Yeah, it was cool. It was glitzy. It was glamorous. It was high tech. But I didn't like it. That's where the conversation should have ended. I stated that I didn't like the Super Bowl, and everybody's like, well, I disagree. I didn't ask for your opinion. I don't care whether you agree or you disagree. I made a statement on my Facebook page that I didn't like it. I didn't open the platform for conversation, but I'm glad people did converse with me on it, because here's why. It opened my eyes a little bit deeper and made me care that much less, because I didn't like the music. I watched the Super Bowl for the music. I watched the Super Bowl for the commercials. I watched the Super Bowl because I enjoy football. Fox did an amazing job with the Super Bowl this year by keeping politics out of it. They showed Donald Trump. They showed the protesters. They voiced their opinion. That's great. They did a great job of covering the football game, and that's what I watched. That's why I watched it. I didn't care about any of the other stuff. So why try to rob me of joy with your opinions? So I didn't let it influence me enough. I let it influence me enough to talk about it on a podcast. I let it influence me enough to talk about it on a public platform. And I know I'm going to get backlash. I'll probably get some comments or whatever. That's great. That's kind of what I want. But all of that aside, I thought the performance was terrible. I thought the song selection was terrible. I thought the artist that they chose to do the Super Bowl halftime show was terrible. I thought their expression of cultural indifference was terrible, because I wasn't watching it for that. I was watching it for the entertainment value. Yes, The Weeknd put on a terrible show last year. Maybe it was the year before. I'm not sure. The last year was Dre and Snoop. Again, I don't know what happened at halftime last year. I don't care. I liked the music. I liked the Crip Walk. I liked the presentation of people. I don't give a fuck whether or not there was a political message or a cultural message. It's not what I was watching it for. A lot of people are going to say to me, hey, I thought you were a music guy. I am a music guy. And I know that there are a lot of messages in music. But you know what would be cool? Is if they did the national anthem at the halftime show by a rock band or by a symphony. What I think would be cool is if they did, whatever one of the top 5 songs in America were. Yeah, that song was a very popular song, and it was an exposing of truth song. But really, the platform for this was the Super Bowl. Those guys don't get paid. Now the conspiracy is he didn't care about the lawsuit. It made him more famous. That's fantastic. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson made both of them more money after the fight than the purse did. We understand that. That's great. I thought the music sucked. That's where it ends. That's it. The Super Bowl should not have been Kansas City Chiefs versus the Eagles. Again, my opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. I don't want you to. I don't want you to see things my way. I want you to see things your way. Not that I don't want you to involve yourself in the conversation or the disagreement or whatever. I want you to do that. I want you to be your own person. I want you to express your dissatisfaction or satisfaction for something. I want you to expose that out there. What I don't want you to do is get butthurt because somebody else has a different opinion. You know, I've been dealing with it since Sunday. I've had a lot of people back and forth on my personal Facebook page talking about how they think that I'm ignorant or that I'm stupid or that I didn't see things for what it was. You know what? I watched the music. A majority of the people watching the Super Bowl are inebriated by halftime. They're not going to sit there and be like, oh my gosh, he's calling Drake out onto the carpet. Majority of the people during the Super Bowl were there watching the fucking Super Bowl. That's it. That's all there is to it. There wasn't any other involvement. It was just a simple matter of the game was on. And halftime came around. And we watched the music. And the commercials were funny, some of them. You know? Again, with the political platform, the rumors stirred around that Elon Musk spent $40 million on 5 Super Bowl spots to expose the truth of our government. I think one of them was a very well-placed involvement with the government, where they said on the Him and Hers commercial for diabetic treatment, the system is designed to keep us sick and stuck. That was the most powerful commercial, in my opinion, in the entire Super Bowl. That was a huge exposure of the truth. Why are we not focusing on that? Why are we not focusing on the truth behind it? I don't care about what happens between 2 rap stars and their opinions of things, or their ongoing lawsuit and this and that. It's just making ignorant people more famous. It's not a racial thing. It's just the fact that these guys are going back and forth because they're not friends. They're not amigos. They're not buddies. They're enemies. And it's all about money. It's all about discounting an artist that's worked hard to promote themselves over the period of their career. I cannot sit here and honestly name one Drake song. And until the Super Bowl, I didn't know Kendrick Lamar sang that song. Until the Super Bowl, I didn't really know who he was. Is he some kind of pioneer? If he is, fantastic. I have not invested much of my life into that. But I also don't focus on that style of music, and I quit listening to that style of music primarily in the 90s, when I found grunge music, when I found Rage Against the Machine, the true political argument, you know? And I don't even care for them much. I can't stand the band Bush. There are a lot of bands out there that I don't like. It's not because of their message, it's because of their music. So because I don't like Kendrick Lamar, I'm an asshole? Good on you. I'm glad that you have that opinion of me. It has nothing to do with that at all. So that being the case, our influence on the interference that we have in our lives and the surroundings of us, I'm not influenced in any type of way because of the performance. I'm influenced in the fact that I thought the music sucked. I voiced my opinion, and the people out there were calling me ignorant as a result. I was stone cold sober at halftime. Shit, I didn't even come into the game until halfway through the second period, second quarter. I didn't care. I didn't care that much because I knew it was going to be a big political event. For fuck's sake, the pregame started at like 1 o'clock. The game was kicked off at 6:30. I came in at 7 o'clock, halfway through the second quarter. I came in just in time to see Philadelphia run up the score before halftime. Now let's throw another curveball in there. I actually had to Google stuff about Kels and Taylor Swift. I had to Google Mahomes and his controversy, both with his wife and Taylor Swift, as well as Patrick Mahomes. I went through and I watched YouTube clips of Patrick Mahomes and his historical comebacks in the past. They went into halftime down by a substantiated amount of points. Statistic analysis shows that they've overcome that multiple times, going into the halftime by 10 points or 10 points down or more. They didn't overcome. It was a good game. It was not one-sided. The refs did their job. If you don't agree with me on that, again, I don't care. That just goes to show how much I've focused my life around my life. How much I've grown to appreciate my own opinion. And this isn't about ego, folks, and if you think this is about ego, then you're missing my point here. It's about the fact that we're starting to comply again in another platform to the way people curate our thought process and the way that they cause us to see things as a result of their opinions and their influence. I don't know about how many commercials Elon Musk actually did. There were a lot of them that I think might have had his input or that he backed to get on there, but there were Super Bowl commercials that weren't aired. You can see those unaired Super Bowl commercials on YouTube. You can see what the commercials were about. You can see, there's a lot of commercials that don't end up on the Super Bowl, even though they spend millions of dollars to promote their products or promote their message. The reason why I got rid of broadcast TV is because their opinions shouldn't influence me, but they do when I watch them. I don't want them to. I don't want them to influence my decision. I want them to simply be entertainment, which was the whole entire venue of television's creation, was entertainment, an escape from reality. Now, Super Bowl was a good escape for me from reality because it brought me joy. It brought me pleasure to watch one of my favorite sports and watch the battle go back and forth between two teams and, duking it out on the gridiron. I didn't want to see Kansas City in the Super Bowl in the first place. The Eagles, great. What a wonderful game. The quarterback was amazing. The receivers did a very good job playing the ball. Their defense dominated the fucking field. That was good football. What was not good football was that argument at halftime. It was not that political debate between two rappers. I haven't seen any backlash from Drake. But, again, I haven't invested much time in it. I just think that the halftime show was bad. And I'm not expecting anybody to comply or conform to my opinions of the halftime show. I don't want that. I want you to have your own opinion. I want you to argue with me as a result of what my opinion of the halftime show was. Because that shows your individuality. But what I don't want is people to call me names as a result of my opinion. That's what's wrong with the world that surrounds us. That's not Christ-like. That's not Buddhist-like. That's not loving one another. That's condemning somebody because they have an opinion. That's discounting somebody's opinion as a result of what your interpretation of the message was. Not everybody looks that deep into things. Only reason why I looked that deep into things is because it's shoved in our face by social media, shoved in our face by technology. My phone was blowing up with notifications from ESPN. It was blowing up from messages from friends on Facebook. It was blowing up with notifications of TikTok. If you didn't get a chance to watch the game on broadcast television, you could have watched it on TikTok on somebody's feed. Until that got canceled, swipe through and watch it on a different person's feed. I don't understand why people focus so hard on damning somebody because they have an opinion about something. About blowing somebody off because of their thought process, because of the way that they looked at something, because of the way they thought about something. It's not cool, man. And it's one thing to have an opinion. It's another to force that opinion on other people. It's not a good way to validate yourself as a human being. It's not a good way to validate yourself as a person that wants to have that quote-unquote integrity. Integrity comes from within. Integrity comes from those that stand their ground. This was an instance of that. But I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to agree with the presentation. I don't have to agree with the arts and cultural representation of the argument of the way these two rappers are. Now, mind you, I am fully aware that the country is quote-unquote founded by African Americans, and the political statement of Uncle Samuel L. Jackson, okay, TikTok taught me that. I'm fully aware of, the Sony label. I'm fully aware of the $15 million lawsuit. I'm fully aware in the fact that they used the N-word during the Super Bowl. Live on TV. They dropped an F-bomb. Live on TV. Now, I don't know if Fox edited it out because I watched the game on the Tubi app. But if they want us to stop damning them, they need to stop damning themselves. Everybody in the industry needs to stop damning themselves. Have your opinions. Speak your opinions loud. Look at Spike Jonze. Look at Spike Lee. Look at Michael Jackson. Look at Prince. Look at how many different people out there have made this about love and happiness and unity. Look at NWA. All they wanted was to wake up in the morning and not worry about getting shot by their rivals. Ice Cube, Ice-T, Eazy-E, the Wu-Tang Clan, Arrested Development. If you want to have somebody that's going to be influential, have the people that do it for good. Have the people that present the music in such a way that it represents culture enrichment without having it be about money or fame. This was a huge flex. This was a huge influence on media. Because the halftime show wasn't even over before people were posting videos about it. The halftime show wasn't even over before there was another conspiracy theory. The halftime show wasn't even over before there was another beef created. I don't understand why people get so worked up about things in this particular platform, but it obviously triggered me in a certain kind of way, and it is what it is. But the opinions are irrelevant to me, aside from the fact that, yeah, they upset me enough to talk about them, but they didn't upset me or influence me enough to change my opinion on whether or not the music sucked on the halftime Super Bowl show. Had nothing to do with anything else. I'm not trying to sell this on anybody. I'm just doing this because I want to hear your feedback. Give me comments down below, guys, when you're listening to this. Better yet, come to our website, gumballhead.com. Stop over to the Podbean podcast, the Normal Isn't Necessary podcast at gmail.com. Send us an email. We want to hear from you. Our next interview coming up Saturday night will be a great interview as well. We've got a few people lined up and ready to talk. We'll see how it goes. But until our paths cross, guys, stay strong, stay focused, stay sober. Much love. We'll see y'all soon.